baseball cap, what appears to be a t-shirt that was white when it went into the trunk, but it's definitely not going to be white when it comes out of the trunk. It is filthy. And then some other miscellaneous trash. Have some respect for your ride, man.
He doesn't kill people, but he's still gross.
Disgusting. Also, like, no tools in sight. He's allegedly a mechanic, and just, like, not even a toolbox. They couldn't be bothered to throw a toolbox in the trunk. Like,
at least throw a wrench, something. Like,
yeah,
you have a wrench lying
indicates
around.
mechanic.
Even a little bit. Just be lazy.
Dean turns and he sees this girl in all white, including her shoes. I really noticed how bright her shoes were. Staring at him really intently, but when he walks into traffic, he looks away and then she's gone and he almost dies.
Pretty sure that girl is the star of Winona Earp.
Really? I didn't
like the
notice.
show.
I did not notice.
Is she the same person?
I didn't even look her up. I feel bad now. Usually
she
I
looks
look up
familiar
an
to me.
actress like that.
I'm looking at it.
Well, she's kind of a major player in this episode, but she doesn't have any actual lines.
Like a few near the end, but like not any real ones.
She mostly is just mumbling about her dad. Like, it's not even sentences.
Yeah, no.
I think she mumbles, "Where's my father?" or like, "Where's my dad?" or something like that.
Not really anything you had to memorize.
Yeah, like barely lines.
You were correct. That was Winona Earp.
Aha!
Oh my god.
Melanie Scrofano.
I feel bad now that I forgot about her and didn't even bother to look her up because I would have loved to have discovered that fact. Thank you, Meredith.
You're welcome. She's really
Good
pretty, so
eye.
I looked her up.
Fair. That's valid. That sounds correct. Dean goes home to Mary's and she makes him a sandwich, which Dean is very much enjoying. Mary is very thrilled that Dean's here and hanging out at home, but shouldn't he be at the garage that he works at? And Dean's like, "Oh, work. No, I have today off." I hope he actually has today off, because if not, he is gonna get fired.
It's fine. It's not like he's lingering here.
I know, but I just like to think there is an alternate universe where this is all real.
Aw.
And now he's doing logistics because he's taking a day off.
And he's like, "Can I cut the grass for you?" And Mary's like, okay, I guess you'll..." Again, little weirdo, but okay. Dean has the time of his life mowing Mary's lawn to the tune of "What a Wonderful World" by Joey Ramone.
Mm-hmm.
Mary's got this beautiful green lawn and roses, and I'm sorry to, like, come in here with my logic and bad news. I'm sorry telling you this, but Mary's birthday's in December, so it should be
That's
winter.
what I was just thinking. Like, it's like December 5th. It's like, is it not? Like,
Yeah.
the temperature is like 48,
It's Kansas
41
in the
48
winter. This should be snow.
I love it when TV people just forget about weather and seasons.
Yeah.
It's just the funniest thing.
Kansas isn't the most northern state, but it's northern enough to get some winter-like activity. That there isn't going to be roses.
Is it just a Djinn that's making it like seem that way?
I guess.
Or what, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
That really should have been a clue, honestly.
Oh, there we go. We have an explanation this time.
Dean is then sitting on the porch with a beer when a blue car pulls up. Again, Sam always picks blue cars. If there's any time Sam gets to pick his own vehicle, like, watch, it's almost always blue. This is a
He
thing.
enjoys a blueberry.
Yeah, he likes it.
Just not the blueberry.
Not the blueberry, but a blueberry.
Dean
Yep.
practically strangles Jess in a hug because Jess and Sam are both here and they're both wearing white, and I don't know why, but I took immediate issue with Sam's outfit. He's wearing the douchiest, like, white gray jacket.
Could have picked a better outfit.
He just looks like an annoying, like, 80s TV villain.
I didn't notice until you pointed it out, but you're right.
It's very not Sam, also.
Yeah.
Sam is very confused / annoyed that Dean doesn't seem to remember any details about Sam's life, including what state he lives in, or that it's their mom's birthday, which is the whole reason that he's here, and not in his home state. Cue the five of them out to dinner, and Dean has on the world's worst tie. The outfit choices in this episode, like truly fluctuate between, like, really excellent and really terrible. Dean has on a terrible tie. Mary looks, like, beautiful. Like, unspeakably beautiful.
As she should.
I hope that they just, like, let Sam take that dress home to wear to some fancy occasion because she looks great.
I thought you said, I hope they let Sam take the dress home. And I was like, why would Sam want that dress? And I forgot the actress's name's Samantha.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam could take the dress if he wants to, but
Yeah.
I don't think it would fit, but
I
yeah,
don't
take
think
it
it
home.
would. I don't think Jared could fit into this dress.
probably not.
Sam's really confused / annoyed with Dean and his behavior, but not as annoyed as Dean is with his meal. He's got some sort of asparagus dish that he's very not interested in eating.
Oh, same.
Carmen looks absolutely phenomenal in her outfit too. She wears it again later in this episode, which was an interesting choice, but she's like promising him to get a cheeseburger on the way home. And like, I love this, but also like, don't go to a restaurant that you're gonna have to go and get another like fast food cheeseburger on the way home from. Like, just go out to a place where everybody can eat.
Right.
Like, Mary, what is good here? Like, what is the appeal of this restaurant where there's nothing that your son feels like eating at it? Like,
I don't know. I'm not a mom.
I kind of feel like Sam picked it.
probably.
He did, didn't he?
I mean, if somebody was going to
He
make
totally
a reservation, it clearly wasn't Dean, so.
I mean,
No.
this Sam is a little bit of a douchebag sometimes, so I bet he did.
I bet you Sam and Jess in this timeline are, like, vegetarian.
Oh, for sure. Well, Sam is, so.
It would make
The
sense.
audacity.
Yeah, Sam is on and off vegetarian, plus,
Yeah.
like, he at least doesn't eat red meat, really. It's a whole thing. We'll talk about it as the show goes on, because I have so many thoughts about it.
To be continued.
Yeah, Sam announces that he and Jessica are engaged, and Mary is just over the moon for her baby. Like, could not be more thrilled. She is very excited. And they're all excited, but Sam gets, like, very visibly weirded out by Dean's sincere congratulations.
All is not right with this world.
Dean sees the girl in the white again, except she's wearing different clothes or, like, just disheveled. They look an entirely different color to me. They don't look like the same clothes. They're definitely more gray than white.
It's a sign.
Yeah, they all go back to Mary's, and Mary's immediately like, I want to go to bed, and just leaves them all downstairs. And Sam and Jess also want to go to bed, and Dean's like, dude, it's 9 o'clock, let's go out. And Sam's like, can we have a minute alone? And then Sam calls Dean out for being all warm and fuzzy and acting like they're close, and Sam's like, you bailed on my graduation and stole my credit card and slept on my prom date on prom night, and generally just were not that great to me growing up, and that's fine, but like, don't pretend to be close now, because we're just not. Which floors Dean. He cannot even like rack his brain around that idea at all.
Bro.
Dean goes back to his own house with Carmen, and Carmen is back in her robe, and she's getting cozy on the couch, getting a little bit concerned about Dean's increasingly weird behavior. But his weird behavior is making Dean say things like, you're the one. So she's not going to ask too many more questions. And you know what? Same girl. I get it.
Don't prod. This is going well.
If Dean Winchester looked me that close to my face and said, you're the one to my face like that, yeah, I wouldn't ask any questions either. He could be as weird as he fucking wants to be.
I mean, that would be very disarming. I'll give you that.
Just like, okay, I'll just be a puddle over here. It's fine.
Everything's great, yeah?
I've melted. My brain is goo. I'm very thirsty this episode. I don't know what's going on.
You need help.
It's the domesticated Winchesters. It's really just like nice to see. There's very little like them being scary in this episode.
You gotta tell me how your mom reacts to it later.
Oh, she's so far bad. It'll be months before she hears it.
Oh, good.
Carmen is going off to work a night shift. She's a nurse, which Dean calls respectable as he goes off to channel surf cooking shows. And he sees a news report about the plane crash from Phantom Traveler and starts looking at their old cases. And I really noted in particular Tyler from Playthings drowned because
Aww.
Sam and Dean were there to save her. I was like, oh, thank you. Again, Susan, teach your child to swim. I know the ghost held her under the water, but like, Jesus Christ, teach your child to swim if you have a pool. Even if you don't have a pool.
Honestly, even if she could swim, having your head held underwater probably wouldn't help that
Give
much.
her a fighting chance, though.
No excuses, yeah?
She could have fallen in there any other day. Dean then goes to John's grave to talk to their dad, and John's headstone states that he's a loving husband and father, remembered forever. And Dean is giving himself a little talk from John because there's a little John in his head that he hears every time he wants to be selfish or anything less than perfect.
Man, that epitaph is enough to know this is a weird universe.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a loving father at rest.
So what?
And a good husband. Are we sure?
Who wrote this?
Rael Tucker.
Someone with secrets wrote that epitaph.
I mean, Eric Kripke was also here, and oh my god, people have been like, I don't even harassing Eric Kripke in like a not entirely bad way with the new season of The Boys, because every Eric Kripke show is just older brother forced to raise younger brother because dad is shitty. And everyone's like, Eric,
We see a pattern.
how's your dad?
Except Timeless.
How is your family relationship, sir? Like, do you need to talk to somebody?
We know you keep killing off blonde Jessicas because of that one girlfriend that you had. Like, you know that you keep doing that. And like, how's your dad?
You guys good?
There was a dead blonde Jessica on Timeless, but I don't think there were that many dad issues.
I mean, it's a lot, honestly, Eric. I hope you're okay.
Like, we need to study him, yeah?
Jensen does the single man tier thing and walks away. The scene is beautifully shot. They ended up doing it in like a single take, basically. Like usually they film things on one camera and then film them on another camera, like they do the scene twice. They were trying to do that and it just like it was disruptive. So Eric's like, let's just set up 2 cameras because I'm directing and why not? So they just set up 2 cameras and they just let him do the whole thing in one go. And yeah, Jensen's just a rock star. Djinn knows that they do have to sacrifice. Like it's part of their family. He can't live with knowing that all these people are going to die / have died because of him. Even more than he's realized that he is, he hasn't really put the pieces together that it's not real. Like, but he's like, damn it, this is too good to be true. I absolutely love this next sequence. Eric Kripke directed and he wanted this. It's something I noticed before I watched the DVD commentary, but in the DVD commentary, Eric talks about wanting this and making it happen. Basically, this next sequence of Sam waking up and finding Djinn stealing the silverware from Mary, it's like shot for shot the scene of Sam waking up and fighting Djinn in the pilot when Djinn broke into their apartment at Stanford.
I noticed that. So great.
It's perfect. The way that Sam and Jess are laying in the bed, the fight choreo, it's so good. Eric did a great job with it. Djinn's rifling through Mary's silver and he lies and says he owes a bookie some money and he's stealing from Mary to pay off his debt, and he apologizes for not getting along better, and Sam doesn't much care for Djinn, but they're still brothers and he's still concerned. And then Djinn's sitting for too long in his car and Sam puts on a different jacket that's also somehow douchey and gets in the car with them and insists they're going together because they're still brothers, and Djinn calls him a bitch and Sam's just offended and doesn't know that.
What do you call me a bitch for?
Yeah.
That's so rude.
He's like, you're supposed to call me a jerk. It's a thing that we do. And Sam's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Why would we do that? Yeah?
The car license plate is a Kansas one again, but it's not the original. This one is RMD 5H2. So interesting, it's still not the original license plate.
Very exciting.
Sam asks what's in the bag, and Djinn warns him that he doesn't want to know, and that's because it's a mason jar of lamb's blood, and starts explaining how he's hunting a Djinn and he needs a silver knife dipped in lamb's blood to kill it. And Sam's like, this sounds like a psychotic break. I think you need some professional help.
He's right, though, it does.
So Djinn throws the Motorola Moto Q out the window.
This is escalating.
That's a good phone. I had that for many years. I had the Trio 650 and the Moto Q. I had all of Sam's phones.
Really? That's so amazing.
I'm kind of wondering where Djinn got the lamb's blood, though. I feel like that's an important question.
Sam does ask that question, and Djinn says he doesn't want to know. So we don't know.
I'm sure he went to a butcher and got it.
Probably,
legitly.
yeah.
I'm sure he didn't kill a lamb in somebody's backyard.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't just find a lamb somehow in the middle of Kansas.
Maybe he did. I don't know.
Maybe.
Farms
That man is crazy.
Saturday Night Special is on again, which was this song that was playing when Djinn was driving by himself. I'm gonna use this instance of it in the playlist because this time we get a little bit more of it and we get the actual Saturday Night Special line, but it was playing at the start of the episode as well. I'm just not gonna put it in twice on this episode for no reason. Sam falls asleep on the drive to Illinois and Djinn makes a Wizard of Oz, we're not in Kansas anymore joke, which was very funny.
Yep.
Always appreciate those.
Yeah, because they've driven from Kansas to Illinois. Very good. They're in the same ruins as Djinn was in before, and Sam's like, I want to go home, but then they hear something, so they find the dead people from Djinn's closet
Oh, tough luck, Sammy.
that he thought he was hallucinating, and they find the girl that he's seeing everywhere. She's being bled out. The Djinn comes in for a little drink, which disgusts this law student version of Sam and nearly blows their cover. He's just horrified. Poor
Valid.
baby. Good thing he's not real, because he is not going to be okay after this.
No.
Djinn does some math. The math starts to math, and he realizes that he's probably somewhere else here, also tied up in being bled out, and all of this is happening in his head. And Sam tries to get him to leave, but Djinn's pretty sure. Djinn's like, well, if you're about to die in a dream, then you wake up, which might not be true, even in the supernatural universe, but okay. Sam tries to convince him, but Djinn's sure enough. Then Mary appears out of nowhere, and Djinn goes from 90% sure to really sure, because yeah, he was pretty sure based on the scenario, but then when Mary just appears right when he's having a moment of weakness, yeah, that's not how reality works.
That's awfully convenient.
And then Jess and Carmen both also show up. Jess is wearing a completely different outfit than she's been wearing at any point in the episode. Also, I believe they had to film her parts of this way later because she wasn't available, so they blue screened her in.
It's awkward.
But I'm just so glad to see Adrianne Palicki. I love Adrianne Palicki so much. I just think that she's very, very fun.
Oh yeah.
She's a fun actress. Adrianne Palicki posted a TikTok with the supernatural scene of her burning on the ceiling a few weeks ago, and yeah, she's
You're
really just, yes, Nick sent it to me so I can make a TikTok about it. I like that, you know, people who have only been in Supernatural for like a few episodes are like really just like leaning into it now.
It's like, yes, I was there when Rome fell.
We're in a Supernatural revival era between the prequel coming out and The Boys being so successful with Jensen and people discovering Jensen. I think Supernatural is about to enter its first revival era.